it's going. You just move over here, fall back, and rest your elbow here,
Okay.
and just record me. Just focus on me. The focus is on Anthony Catella.
I don't have it focused. I'm very bad at this.
Well, you can do it. So they just heard me. They didn't see me. Hopefully they'll put a picture of me in there. I don't know.
Yeah, but now I'm seeing the couch.
Well, no. Bring it down. Bring it down. Do you see? Bring it down. You know, I had my elbow on the armrest, and just focus. Try to find me in the film or on the phone, or just come over here.
Yeah.
Ta-da.
Okay.
Here, I can put this on the unit. That works. And did you? Oh man, I did fine. I did fine. What do you think? What's my grade, teacher?
An A.
Oh, great. Okay.
Now don't come up. Don't.
Well, I know, but
oh.
I want to just make it look like I'm not reading. Okay. Is
Okay.
the flag behind me?
Yes.
Is it going? Are there numbers moving?
No. Oh, yes, they are.
Okay, great. Hello, my name is Anthony Catella. I'm a candidate for County Board 13 for Kane County, Illinois. As a candidate for Kane County Board District 13, I am dedicated to addressing the structural and financial challenges facing our county while preserving the quality of life for all of our citizens. I would like to give you some detailed questions and answers that itemize issues that are raised by people in the county. My top 3 priorities for District 13 are 1, financial accountability and economic growth. With federal COVID-19 relief funds from the ARP Act exhausted, the county faces a structural deficit. My priority is to move land onto the tax rolls and streamline the Kane County Economic Development Cooperation to grow our tax base without placing the entire burden on homeowners. Number 2 is I'm for public safety and infrastructure. Public safety is our largest expense, often driven by unfunded state mandates. I will propose funding for the sheriff's office and the judicial system, which ensure our roads, particularly congested corridors like Fabian Parkway, receive the maintenance that they need.
Stop rocking.
Okay. I'm for substantial land use. That's number 3. I'm for substantial land use. We must be balanced and push the green energy. We must balance the push for green energy with protection of our valuable agricultural heritage. I will advocate for zoning that protects neighboring property values while allowing for responsible development. Now, I've been asked, should the county regulate short-term rentals? Those are a type of housing unit. Well, yes, the county should regulate short-term rentals. Unregulated STRs can disrupt the character of our residential neighborhoods. I support a framework which includes licensing and registration, a mandatory registry so that the county knows where these units are and who are to contact in an emergency. Secondly, occupancy and safety limits, establishing maximum occupancy based on bedroom count and requiring inspections for fire safety, such as smoke and carbon monoxide detectors. Third, noise and nuisance ordinances. I am for a strict 3-strike policy for noise complaints to protect our neighbors. And fourth, tax parity. We need to ensure that the STRs pay a lodging tax similar to hotels, which can be reinvested into local infrastructure. How should former Fabian Parkway jail facility be redeveloped? Should all or part of the property be sold? The 32-acre former correction site is prime real estate. I believe we should pursue a mixed-use sale and redevelopment strategy. First, sale of frontage. I support selling the frontage along Fabian Parkway for industrial commercial use. This would get the land back on the tax rolls immediately and capitalize on the site's high visibility. Second, agri-solar use. The back 22 acres are more challenging due to the nearby former landfill. I support exploring a community solar project there, which can generate $3,500 to $9,500 per acre annually in lease revenue while lowering the county's energy costs. Third, retention. We should retain a small portion for future county storage or facilities to avoid buying expensive land later. Last year, the board was divided on a United We Stand Against Hate Week. What do I think about this? Well, quite simply, I support inclusivity and believe the board should stand unanimous and united against hate and discrimination. At the same time, however, the division on the board last year stemmed from concerns that such proclamations can become politically performative or used to stifle debate. My stand is we adopt a clear, unifying language that reaffirms our commitment to the equality of treatment for all of our fellow citizens, and then get on with the business of Kane County without further partisan divisions. Immigration Enforcement and Trust Act. Well, what about it? Local law enforcement. I'm for local law enforcement. I support the sheriff and the state's attorney's current policy of adhering to the Illinois Trust Act, which prohibits local law enforcement from participating in civil immigration arrests. Our local police need the trust of our fellow community members to prevent and solve crime. If a victim or witness fear deportation for calling 911, the public safety is imperiled, and that we cannot afford. Trust Act reforms. While I support the Act's goal of separating local policing from federal civil immigration, I would like to see reforms that clarify communication regarding violent offenders. We must ensure that if an individual poses a documented threat to public safety, I refer to criminal, not to civil violations, there is a clear legal path for coordination with federal authorities that does not violate state law. Now the budget. No government can operate without a budget. If you think the government can operate without money, you're just as mistaken as you ever could be. And this is as true on the federal level as it is true on the local and county level. If forced to choose between either cutting property taxes or making program cuts, I would prioritize cutting non-essential programs and internal waste over raising the property tax levy. Citizens are already stretched thin by inflation. My prioritized cuts. Well, I would first examine the COVID-era pilot programs lacking a permanent funding source, redundant administrative contracts, and non-essential capital projects. The use of reserves, meaning the money that we save for a rainy day. Doesn't he know there's no one home yet? I would dip into the reserves only as a one-time bridge and no more than 5 to 10% of the total reserve to prevent the immediate collapse of critical services, not to mask a long-term deficit. These reserves are for emergency purposes and emergency purposes only. These reserve funds are much like the elderly Irish lady whose house was bombed in the London Blitz during World War II. As the rescuers moved out, they spied a bottle of brandy that she'd stored behind the staircase, which was all that was left of the house standing. And she was barely conscious, and one of the workers pulled the cork to give her a wee bit of a dram, and she came round and said, here now, there now, that's for emergencies only. So with our reserve funds. New revenue sources, sales and fuel tax. I have already pledged in my campaign that I will not support or vote for one single tax more than the county can afford.
Rocking.
I am therefore rather hesitant to ask voters for a sales tax increase or to further increase the motor tax to 8 cents effective July 2026. We're getting ahead of the game now. Before asking for more taxes, the board needs to show it can live within its means. Now, if you and I have to live within our means with our money, so should a government at any level. Using all economic development options to grow the tax base organically. There are just too many board members who think this is their money. Well, it isn't. It's your money. You need for your retirement. It's your children's education. Their money for a new home with less property taxes to pay. If I do anything on this board, I'm going to convince these tax and spend guys, that the money, the power, and the decision-making process of this county, belong to the people of this county and not to the county board. The county board members need to know rule number 1. They're there in persona of the public. They're there in the person of the public to do the public's bidding, to do what the people want done. Do I support RTA revenue diversion? I oppose long-term diversion of RTA revenue from transportation to public safety. While the board used this quick fix recently, transportation funding is vital for our workforce to reach their places of employment. Diverting these funds can become a shell game, leading to pie crusts, crumbling roads, and reduced transit options. We need to fund public safety through the general fund and economic growth, not by raiding our infrastructure budget. There is no need to rob Peter to pay Paul. And remember the old Irish woman. Solar data and batteries. Solar data and battery storage. Battery storage. These are essential for grid reliability, but they pose unique fire safety risks. I would mandate that any battery facility be located near existing industrial zones, rather than deep in residential or prime farmland. The risks of lawsuits. Well, every horse has its own risks. The risk of lawsuits do factor into my decisions. New state laws, such as Public Act 104-0458, limit how much control counties have over these kinds of facilities. If we pass ordinances that are too restrictive, we risk losing in court and paying hefty legal fees. I advocate for smart compliance. This is setting the strictest standards allowed by state law without triggering legal battles. And finally, my friends, if I'm elected to your county board representative for District 13 here in Kane County, I will fulfill my duties in office. I will place the public interest above my own, and I will stand publicly for the right principles. These are 3 of the 7 Army values, and for me, they're not just words. They're a way of life and a way of service, and I will serve you to the best of my ability. So help me God. Thank you very much.
Great, and now all you gotta do is